Well, it was good to get the first ACC win. It's always good to get out of the blocks with that first one, because this is one of our major goals. Is, like I said, the season starts, preseason was over. We got to get back into the ACC game, and to do it against a team that's been a big nemesis to us for quite a few years. They're a very well coached, very tough team. They kept hanging in there and found ways to make it interesting for us and cause us a lot of problems. And we couldn't, we were moving the ball and couldn't get it in there enough. And I think my hat's off to them. They're a very well coached, good team. Jim does a great job. But it's great to have that first ACC win and to get things started on the right note.
What most impressed you about the defense?
The consistency in which they played. They never got outflanked and the misdirection and the tricks and the fakes and all that stuff. I mean, they had one of them, I think the guy kind of slid behind there. We had him play, guy just misplayed him, but the consistency in which they never got disoriented. They never got out of whack. They controlled the no-huddle situations that came back in. And then again, I thought we controlled the line of scrimmage again in the run game, and we were able to generate pass rush without blitzing with four guys. When you can do that and not get vulnerable in the secondary, it's a good thing.
Where have they come the furthest since Oklahoma?
Just understanding what to do and understanding the adversity situations in which they face there at Oklahoma, that they're now letting the game slow down for themselves and putting themselves in position to play and believing that and knowing that they can play and not getting flustered when one bad play happens and letting it become two. They're growing and maturing.
I thought Coach Stoops wanted to go out there and play on that when you were getting that fourth down stop at the end.
Between him and me, somebody's got to keep a belt on us all the time. That's for sure. He does. He's enthusiastic, and our kids play with his personality, which is very great. Which is very good to see.
You must. I mean, it happened in the first game too against Samford. At the end, when the outcome isn't in question, but the defense buckled down and really played.
Well, you say the outcome, man, but there's still 5 minutes to go in the game. It's 24. They score and get two. It's 24-16. It's 2 possessions. I've seen some crazy things happen in football. Our defense just has pride, and that's where that's our motto. We're going to play 60 minutes and play every play and try to play hard and try to play clean and do the things we got to do. I mean, just because you have a lead doesn't mean you take it easy. That's when you got to put your foot on people and then get our kids to understand even more so, not just the opponent, but our kids. That's when you got to play harder. You can't, whether it's adversity or success, it doesn't matter. It's all even keel. The next play is what you control. Play it with the heart, all your ability. Play with your heart and your soul.
Jimbo, what did you tell them offensively at halftime? You controlled the ball, but you just, there were mistakes.
Didn't have points. I mean, penalties, missed a block and got blindsided, and we put the ball on the ground. Told him that, you let good teams hang around like that, they'll cost you. But there's nothing wrong with what we're doing, just a few tweaks and moments. Like I say this all the time. Here goes back to my statement. You can play well, but play situations poorly and lose a football game. And that's what we were doing. We were moving the ball, but playing the red zone in those third down situations, those true passing situations poorly, and it was leaving Wake Forest in the game. And that's where our kids have to be situation smart and understand when not to make mistakes. And we made them in some crucial times with penalties or missed blocks and, quarterback still, getting hit. But, hey, you got to hold on to the football and doing those things. And relax. Don't go back to your fundamentals. Keep the same intensity and don't make the same mistake twice and just keep going.
You guys had those lightning delays in practice back in August. You think that prepared you for this?
That's why I did it. That's why I made them sit there for 2.5 hours and 3 hours. When all y'all went home, remember when y'all went home, y'all usually wait there for me afterwards, and y'all decided you wanted to go home and get supper, and we stayed there about 8 o'clock in practice. I don't see anybody admitting to that now. I say all crew of y'all now. Huh? Y'all, huh? Hey, no, ain't nobody made you go home. Don't give me that. You sound like players now. No, but I've had that situation occur in the past, and when you're in the South, that's part of what happens. And that's why we did it those 2 or 3 days to prove a point, even if I thought I was crazy for staying there for 2 or 3 hours, because it's mental conditioning because both times, and I made this point to us at halftime, we walked in there after that break, I said, guys, we're exactly where we want to be. Because both times, I remember, if you remember right, when we had those practices where we stayed, I said we went back out and practiced afterwards better than we were beforehand. Guess what happened? We played better after the lightning delay than we were before the lightning delay. And as crazy as that sounds, our kids got into that and they understood that, and it's part of that scenario. So that was a great situation to work.
You've been talking up Willie for a while, and we finally saw some of what he can do with some of his performances.
I was very happy to see him make some big plays, big blocks. I mean, I think he might have had 2 touchdowns. He had 2 touchdowns on scramble. Could have had another big play that going. I think he dropped one, I think. But he's playing better. Rodney's going better. You know, Taiwan made a couple big catches. It was good to see A.J. Alexander make one. Kenny Shaw. I'm going to tell you what, those young freshmen like Alexander, Shaw, Dent, even Jared Higgins, those guys, you're starting to see them now in practice. You'll start to see them more in the games. They're about ready to play because they come in, okay, all doing good. Then they got overwhelmed. Now they've recovered from that, and you're starting to see them processing in practice, see a lot more consistency in what they're doing. And I think they're starting to, and I think Rodney and Willie are really starting to do that too. But I was very pleased with Willie today.
Jimbo, I know you.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What do I do for your offense to have, instead of just two over the line?
Oh, you got to, to make guys, and the quarterback know that, okay, if I'm one-on-one, see, here's a scenario. If I'm one-on-one over here, and that's where I have to go with the ball, because they're double-teamed to roll the coverage, but I don't have confidence in that guy, or I don't know what he's going to do, that's hard to throw it over there, and it's hard to throw it with confidence. And you force the ball into double-team. But now you're starting to get more, that's what I say. I don't care if we have one guy catch 100. I'd like to have 5 guys catch 40 or 50. Because now, when the one-on-one matchups come, I don't have a problem throwing to that guy as the confidence grows, and we got to continue to build that.
Jimbo, I know you got better. I know you got better things to do during the game, like actually try to win it. But did you notice the attendance? And it was the worst attended home game in 18 years. Is that bothering you in any way right now?
It is for our kids. I mean, I wish we'd walk out there and play and have a packed house and let our kids enjoy the hard work and let them see what we're doing. I mean, like I told them in the thing, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? I mean, we're going to have to win 10 games or to come back, or can we come back and help us win and push us through those moments to help us? It helps them recruiting when recruits come and they see a full stadium and all that. I mean, I think it's great, but listen, it's tough economic times, and we're going to continue to play if there's 83,000 or if there's one. We're going to play the same way in that stadium.
Just going back to the receivers, was that part of the plan in practice this week, was to get guys like Willie and Rodney?
Well, it was, and we thought we could get the ball down the field and make some long throws, and the thing, we had some guys open, we did make some plays, and then we had some protection issues at times, but we knew we had to, and we have to start doing that for our offense. We have to start pushing that ball down the field, making throws, and getting those one-on-ones and winning, and you got to get them in the game and do it, and plus on the line of having to block that long, and we'll fix that. We got the best line guy in the business. Don't worry about that. We'll get all that worked out.
You talk about the defensive line. They 6 more sacks, kind of dominated the game again. They ended up with 6 as a team.
6 sacks, but pressure, control the run. I mean, tickled to death. When you win those lines of scrimmage, man, it's fun to play football.
And Brandon Jenkins is starting to turn into a real player. And you kind of talk about what you see out of 49.
He can play. Yeah, that's why we recruited him. I saw it in high school. I mean, I really think he's growing his size. He got quickness. He got size. I mean, inside they're getting pushed. The other ends are getting rushes. I mean, they're doing a good job.
How do you think Christian did after being limited throughout the week?
I thought he played very well. I really did. There wasn't many throws he missed. Most reads, for the most part, maybe 1 or 2. I think we talked about on the sideline, but I'll have to see. He saw something else, so generally he's out there. He can tell. It's hard from the sideline, but he was accurate for the most part. He was good on his deep balls. Had a couple balls dropped that could have been there, but I thought his arm strength was good. He ran. I mean, he was much better this week as far as physically, letting him set as much as we did than he was last week. I was very pleased.
You made that switch at left tackle. Can you talk about why that was?
Well, sometimes there's no sense to put a guy, he's just having a tough day. And there's no sense to just keep rubbing it in. We had to make a change and let him get over it. We were going to get his bearings on the sideline and just take a deep breath. Sometimes you got to pull a guy out of a situation. And then the other guy started doing pretty good. So we left it there and we got rolling. But he'll be fine. He'll be playing back.
He got sacked 3 or 4 times this afternoon, Coach. Are you concerned about the play of the offensive line?
Well, I am, but we expose them a little. We got some empty sets and we're trying to throw the ball down the field. And we can chip and slide and put some tight ends in there. And I knew it, and I exposed them, and I went with it. And then we went back to protecting them after that. After so long, my hard-headedness, we changed and we started going back to some shorter things. But,
I'm saying.
That's something we got to continue to grow.
Here we go.
Is he coming back? That was 8 minutes.
We